How's it going, everyone? Sorry, my video is late. My baby's been taking a lot of my time, but finally got time to do my video. So, we're gonna talk about VMC and running on one engine on this video. So let's begin. So the Piper Seminole V Speed is the Piper Seminole is the aircraft that I'm training in right now, and I'm just gonna list the important V speeds that I need to know. So here are the important ones. VMC is 56, VSO is 55, VS is 57, VXSC is 82. It's also the same as VX, and VYSE is 88, and it's also the same as VY. It's also known as the blue line. I believe that, I don't know, Piper maybe made this an easy aircraft to train in, and that's the reason why they made the airspeeds all the same for VX and VY. Now let's talk about conventional versus counter rotating. So on a conventional twin, if you're looking at it from the back of the aircraft, both propellers spin the same way, which is, if you're looking at it from the back, they both turn clockwise. If you're looking at it from the back, counter rotating, if you're looking at the plane from the back, the left prop turns to the right or clockwise, and the right one turns counterclockwise, so this way. So in the counter rotating airplanes, they don't have a critical engine, but in the conventional airplanes, the critical engine would be on the left engine. A critical engine failure, aerodynamical factors. We use the acronym PAST. So P is for P factor, A is for accelerated slipstream, S is for spiraling slipstream, and T is for torque. P factor, we learned this in our private pilot license training. On high angles of attack, the descending blade on the right engine is further away from the longitudinal axis on a conventional twin. So failure on the left engine on a conventional twin creates adverse asymmetrical thrust due to right engine still producing thrust. And it creates a yawing motion towards a critical engine. So if the right engine fails on a conventional twin, the plane's going to want to yaw to the left because, like I said, asymmetrical thrust, because the right engine is still producing thrust. Accelerated slipstream. So because the wings are directly behind the propellers, and if the propellers are moving forward or moving, it creates air molecules to move faster over the wing, which creates more lift. And you'll see here on the photo that I'm showing on the video, or on the photo here right now, you'll see how there's more lift on the right engine because the right engine's still working. And if any engine decides to quit, because of that lift, it'll create a rolling tendency towards the failed engine. So spiraling slipstream, prop wash from the left engine hits the vertical stabilizer. If the left engine fails, then it wouldn't really have that much effect. Prop wash from the right. Oh, actually, sorry. If the right engine fails, the prop wash has no effect because as the prop wash is coming back, the left engine or the left prop wash comes back and hits the vertical stabilizer, while the right engine just dissipates towards the right if you're looking from the plane. If you look at the plane from the back. Torque. So Sir Isaac Newton's third law of motion: for every action there's an equal and opposite reaction. So as the propeller wants to spin to the right, the equal reaction is the plane wants to roll to the left. Now let's talk about the clues of a failed engine. So if you suspect that there is a failed engine, there's a couple clues that you could be looking at, or you could feel or hear. If your engine has failed, let's say your engine has failed on the left side, the plane will yaw towards the left, so it'll start yawing this way, and plane will also start to have nose attitude because there's not much lift being produced, and it'll start to roll towards the left because, as I said before, asymmetrical thrust. or sorry, asymmetrical lift. There's no lift being produced on the left engine. Well, there's some lift, but not enough to equal out the right engine also. It's also important to note that engine instruments will most likely not indicate the failed engine because the prop is still windmilling. In this case, it's important to maintain directional control by banking up to 5 degrees on the opposite of where it's rolling. So if it starts to roll to the left, maintain 5 degrees bank on the right side. Same thing again using the rudder. If it starts yawing to the left, use enough rudder to make it straight and level to the right side. And in the inclinometer, the ball should be sliced half towards the operating engine. So if you look at the inclinometer, there's a ball in the middle and there's two lines. The ball should be sliced in the right side if the failed engine is on the left. So doing the drill, I'm sure we all know about the drill. We do mixtures, props, throttles full forward, flaps up and gears up, identify dead foot, dead engine. So the dead foot that is not doing anything, that's the dead engine. Verify, so we'd pull the throttle back on the suspected engine. So let's say if the left engine has failed, we pull that throttle back. And if there's no change in performance, then that's the engine that's failed. If no change in performance, that is a dead engine. Now let's talk about securing the failed engine. There are a couple ways we could do this. If we're really high, a good altitude would be 3,000 feet AGL. We still have time to troubleshoot it. You don't want to immediately feather or secure that engine because, like I said, we still have time to troubleshoot it. So if at 3,000 feet AGL above ground level and we have a failed engine, do the procedure, and then also try to start the engine using the checklist. So what I do is I go through a flow that I've created for myself. I start from the left side of the plane, come over to the middle, and then the fuel selectors. So starting from the left side of the plane of Piper Seminole, it would be mags on, alternator on, fuel pump on, mixtures full rich, and make sure the fuel selector is on. And then try to start there. If it doesn't want to restart, then we'll have to secure the engine, of course, so that we could get the best performance, so that the propeller's not windmilling, it's not creating a lot of drag. So secure the engine. Use the proper checklist on that. Now the second one is if we are in a critical phase of flight. For critical phases defined as takeoff and landing, we have no time to restart the engine because that's not what we want to do. We want to get the most out of the performance, so we have to secure the engine, make it feathered. So of course, let's say if you're taking off or landing and you suspect an engine failure, starts yawing, or the plane starts yawing or rolling to one side, do the drill. The drill, make sure it's props throttle for forward, and depending if you're landing or not, flaps up, gears down, or flaps up, gears up, and then identify, verify. Then after you do the drill, feather that prop that's failed on the failed engine. That's to reduce drag and increase performance as much as possible. So you feather that prop, close the mixture, and close the cowl flaps. And if you're taking off, come back around in the pattern and land as soon as possible. If you're coming to land, then you're coming into land. Let's talk about VMC. VMC is defined as the minimum calibrated airspeed at which directional control can be maintained within 20 degrees of original heading. How is VMC determined? So VMC, max takeoff power at sea level on operative engine. So if if you're doing the VMC demo and the left engine, you you and your instructor decide to simulate a feather, not a feather prop, a windmilling prop on the left engine, max power on the right engine. And second is the windmilling prop. Third is most unfavorable weight and CG position. Number 4 is landing gear retracted because we want to simulate that we're taking off and we're not coming down to land. 5, flaps and cowl flaps in the takeoff position for this Piper Seminole. It'd be flap 0 and cowl flaps open. And max 5 degrees of bank towards operating engine. So during this whole VMC demo, it's max 5 degrees. A loss of direction control. At some point in time in the VMC demo, the plane will start to lose directional control, which means you'll have full right rudder or full left rudder applied, and the plane will start to yaw on the failed engine side. So in the VMC demo, let's say this is our plane. We got the plane all set up and configured. We're coming up one decreasing airspeed 1 degree off 1 knot per second, and then the airplane starts to yaw towards the failed engine, and we got full rudder applied. And that, or the first indication of a stall, the buffet, stall warning horn, or loss of directional control. Those 3 things is the first, either or, whichever comes first is when we recover. So how we recover from the VMC demo? So we pull the throttle back on the engine that's working while simultaneously decreasing the angle tach. So we go back to straight and level flight. So pull the throttle back while pushing the nose down to increase airspeed to blue line. And once we've done that, we can once we've reached blue line and we've maintained directional control, we can put the throttles forward and resume flight. And I guess that's about it for this video. Thank you.